You ever wonder why Donald Trump did nothing about the pandemic? Why his entire focus was money, 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 the economy, the economy, the economy, and never mind if people didn't survive the pandemic? Here's why. Donald Trump is a debt ball. Donald Trump's entire net worth is debt to banks. He doesn't actually own anything. It's all debt. And the way he has made himself appear rich is by leveraging debt. So it's all fake. It's not real. It's not like you and I, who goes out and works and earns a living and buys things because we can afford them. That's the only thing that Trump knows as far as finances is concerned, is debt. He knows absolutely nothing about being a responsible businessman. He's just a debt ball. And that is what he was trying to do to the United States. In 2017 and 2018, Donald Trump had asked the Federal Reserve to do quantitative easing and drive interest rates down. In fact, he was really, if you remember back in 2017 and early 2018, he was really, really rough on the Federal Reserve, forcing them to drive interest rates down. Now, the problem with that is that it inflates an economy. It creates a debt bubble. It creates a economy based on debt. And you can see that by the billions of dollars that he raised the debt in that short period of time, even prior to the pandemic. Trump was trying to convert the United States from a soluble business model to a debt-based business model, because that is how Donald Trump has pretended to be rich all of his life. And so when the pandemic hit, he was absolutely incapable of dealing with it in any other way. He tries to keep the illusion alive. Instead of being an actual businessman and cutting back and figuring out where your losses are and figuring out how to either make a better product or bring more business into the business, Donald Trump just inflates more debt. That's how he always deals with everything. That is his entire business model. So when the pandemic hit, he had nowhere to go. And the quantitative easing that would have normally been used because the government was having a problem had already run out. All of its ability to slightly tweak the economy so that the economy can fix itself was gone. He already used it all. And so then we ended up piling a bunch more debt on, trying to save people, and that drove it even deeper. So then jump forward, and Trump is no longer president, and Biden comes in, and he is tasked with fixing this complete and utter nightmare that Trump has created. Only he can't use quantitative easing either. In fact, what's going to happen now is quantitative tightening, which is the Federal Reserve raising interest rates to try and pull money that was spent out of debt out of the market, which means everything goes up. Inflation skyrockets. And of course, his tax cuts for the rich, literally for the rich. Don't worry about it. He did give regular middle-class Americans a tiny, 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 tiny taste of a tax cut for 3 years. 4 years? 4 years. That then went away while the massive tax cut for the rich remained in place. And then add to that we also had these supply chain problems that were caused because of the pandemic. And add to that the problems of all of the millions of people who wanted to immigrate into the United States that could not immigrate into the United States for several years because of the pandemic and because of the rules at the border relating to the pandemic. And you have a president tasked with fixing an economy without the tools necessary to fix an economy, with actually a negative help from the Federal Reserve, who is now going to do quantitative tightening and shoot freaking prices up into the sky. And then on top of that, you have these corporations who decide at this particular point in time that because natural inflation is occurring, that they can do greed inflation and raise their prices as high as they possibly can to see what the market can possibly bear. Take us to our absolute most destitute position as purchasers and see exactly where they can take their prices for profit without us completely going under, which you can see now is starting to reduce slightly because now the companies have gone, okay, well, we've seen for a year and a half now, 2 years, what the market can bear. We've taken it as high as we possibly can, and so now we are going to settle out at this ridiculously high point, and rather than continue inflating prices, because now we know what the market can bear, we'll drop them just the tiniest bit. This is what Donald Trump did to the United States. This is why you and I are facing the pain in the economy that we are right now. Every single bit of this belongs to Donald Trump, just like it belongs to every other Republican president in the past 60 years that have left a destroyed economy for Democrats to fix. And I'm not even a Democrat. I just happen to know how the economy works.